To create a Google site, you want to start first in your Google Drive and go into the folder where you want your site to be located. So I'm going to do this in my tech demo folder in my Google Drive. You then will click New, come down to the More option, and from here we will find Google Sites. And when you click it, it will in fact create the draft of a website. So you can go to the template gallery that's available to you if you're interested. You just click that and it'll bring you over. If not, you can create it from all on your own. The first thing you'll want to do is we have 3 main sections in sites. We want to start with themes. And you can pick any of these themes. They're relatively basic, and this is where you can decide whether you want your website to have some basic designs, a line under the title, a box around it. And you can also pick the different font options here. Each different theme has slightly different font options. And you can adjust the image on any of them and the color on any of them. So if I want to pick the classic font style in Aristotle, and then I'm going to come over and click that paint bucket, and I'm going to switch the color to the Ossining Burgundy, I can now get started on my page. So once the theme is set, you're good to go. I'm going to come over to the Insert tab because this is where we actually spend most of the time organizing our website. And we want to name our site. So I'm going to just name this Demo November. That's the time of year that I'm working on this right now. And I'm going to click up here and I'm going to give it the same name. Now keep in mind that whatever we name this is what we're going to find it in that Google Drive folder. So this name here will appear in the URL bar up on top here on the tab, but it'll also be the file's name. So now that we've done it, we can see it saved there, and a little pop-up let us know that it was saved. So we have our theme set, we have our page set, and if we want to, we can do some adjusting and come in and select an image. We can go to search and put things in it here as well. And then you're going to start inserting content. If you want to use some of the pre-created layouts, you can do so. Just select the image, and it will pop right in. When you're in, something to keep in mind about sites is you see these 10 little dots here. That lets you know that there's something that can be, and if you're going to manipulate the site or change how it looks, you're going to use those dots. So for instance, if I hit the plus button here, I can insert any of these things into this little box here. But what I can also do is if I select this bottom part and I get those dots, I could move this text box to the top of the picture and kind of move that around a little. And if I were to double click and put another text box in here, and I'm just going to, sorry about that, type hello. I have these 10 dots there. I can move this up and down, and we can see that we can adjust and modify where things are on the site by doing that. We also have this little sidebar here for each section, and this is where I can adjust the colors if I wanted to duplicate it, or if I wanted to get rid of that entire section, I can do it there. Along on our insert, we can add collapsible text, table of contents, image carousel. All of these features are available, including anything from our Google Drive can embed right in. The embed feature is actually about website addresses. So if I wanted to put a website in, or if I had code from another site, places like Quizlet will give you code that you can embed right onto a Google site. From here, once I've embedded the content and put in what I want, I can go over to Pages. Pages will let me add additional pages. Now, right now you can't see, but this is the home page. It's not indicated as home because it's the only page. But if I were going to add another page, and so I'm just going to name this page 1, and hit done, I now have a home and a page 1. And you can navigate between the two as you're editing up here, or we can do it from the side here. I also can, if I choose to, click and hold this and nest that page underneath and have a drop down there if I'm interested in doing so. If that happens and I want to pull it out, I can do that as well and return it so that it's under its own, and you can add subpages under each page as you go through. We also can add a link, and it will appear in the navigation up on the top here as though it's its own part of the web page. But if I wanted to add a new link, and I'm just going to put in www.google.com, and I'm going to put the name for that as Google, done, you'll see it comes up as though it's its own page, but on our pages area, we can see that it's going to be a link that's going to drive you right out to something else. And finally, when we finish, we want to take a look at our page. We can always click that preview button, and this is going to show us what it looks like on a computer, on a tablet, or our website on a phone. I hit the X and I can come back to my editing screen. Now this is where we can also add collaborators if there's people we want to have working on the site with us. And finally, when we've totally finished, we can click publish. Now, when you click publish, it'll tell you what your website address will be, sites.google.com/austininufsd.org, and then the name of our site, Demo November. And since it looks a little weird written that way, I'm going to put a dash right there so it's obvious that it's Demo November. You can use that. You cannot put spaces in a Google site, so you'd have to either put a dash or an underscore. Now, by default, our settings are that anyone in Ossining can view the published site. We can manage that and we can adjust. So down here where it says links vary, we have the draft, which I'm the only one who can see the draft. That's the editing version. That's this whole big URL up here. The published site, which is going to be that sites.google.com/austininufsd.org.demo-november, I can adjust that so either only certain people see it, public people, everyone in the world can see it, or it can be removed. Now, if I select public, that now has been updated and anyone on the internet would be able to see the site. Whereas if I wanted to have it restricted that only certain people can see the site, I can do that as well. So its default setting is anyone in Ossining. When I click done and I now hit publish, this website has now been published and I can come up to the home page here, click the published site link and copy and share that. Now remember, this is the link that you'll share with people if they're going to see the site, whereas this is the link that you use to edit the site that you would access through your Google Drive. And that's the basics on creating a Google site.